Welcome into Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. Keep getting better. My name is Madelyn Burke, alongside the Super Bowl champion Shaun O'Hara. And Shaun, the Giants hosted the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday Night Football. The Giants falling 17-7 is the final score. 2-3 on the season are the New York Giants after this loss in prime time. But when you look at the way this one played out coming into tonight's game, you know, the Bengals were a team that defensively they gave up an average of 29 points per game to opposing offenses, ranked 31st in the league. How did the Giants offense struggle so much tonight?
Yeah, I mean, listen, they wet the bed. Like, offensively, you're coming into this game against the Bengals, and just like you said, this is one of the worst scoring defenses in the league. You're coming off of a great road victory in Seattle, and you can't find the end zone. You can't make simple field goals. This offense is so frustrating to watch sometimes, because just when you think they're getting some momentum, getting some rhythm, all of a sudden they find some way to shoot themselves in the foot. And it's just, as fans are leaving the stadium, we're hearing them, we're listening to them, like, they're frustrated, and it's understandable. I'm sure Daniel Jones is frustrated. I'm sure Brian Dable's frustrated. They just cannot seem to stack points together. They got their first touchdown of the season at home, but yet Daniel Jones has not thrown a touchdown pass at home in 3 games now. And it's one of those things where every week you feel like this is going to be the week that they break through. This is going to be the week that they break it open, and they're going to come in chunks, and they don't happen. I thought Tracy was phenomenal today. I don't think he got enough touches. I think he was the best player on offense tonight, and he should have touched the ball more. They should have run the football a little bit more with him.
Well, Tyrone Tracy, you mentioned that was the lone touchdown they had on the night, a 1-yard rushing touchdown by the rookie, who has been phenomenal in the absence of Devin Singletary.
Yeah, Tracy was, I mean, he was violent with some of his runs. He was very decisive, got vertical, got downhill, made some guys miss. We saw a couple of spin moves, a lot of yards after contact, and that's the kind of juice that you want from a guy that's coming in. And look, he's a rookie. He's coming in to spell Devin Singletary, and I thought he provided an unbelievable spark for this offense. So kudos to him. I thought he was phenomenal. I thought the offensive line collectively played well enough to win. I do think Andrew Thomas had probably the roughest game I've seen from him since 3 years ago. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know if he's got some sort of injury. His right ankle is spatted, so maybe there's a situation there, but he gave up 2 sacks tonight to Trey Hendrickson. That's not the type of play that we expect from that. But just offensively, big plays get called back from a penalty. You know, you can't have that. Like, good football teams don't do that to themselves. And this defense, Madelyn, played well enough to win this football game. You hold the Cincinnati Bengals to 17 points, and it was really 10 until that last run by Chase Brown. You should win football games. And the fact that they were able to do that, when you have Jamar Chase over there, Jamar Chase was a non-factor. Like, he did not really do, he had one big catch for 33 yards, but he was a non-factor. The Giants defense has got to be exhausted right now, because the performance that they put out there, and to not be walking off the field with the win right now, it's disappointing, and it's sad to see that, because they were phenomenal. Dexter Lawrence was all over the field.
Yeah.
Brian Burns was all over the field. Micah McFadden had another unbelievable game. It's got to be frustrating for them inside the locker room right now.
Yeah, the Giants defense putting 4 sacks on Joe Burrow, creating pressure, getting a fumble recovery that did result in the touchdown the Giants did score today. Giants defense doing their part. The offense unable to capitalize on some of those opportunities as the Giants fall 17-7. But let's get another perspective on this game as we send it down to the field, where Paul Dottino and Brandon London are standing by.
Okay, thanks very much. And the view from the field, well, it turned out to be rather ugly for the Giants tonight, Brandon, because the #1 point that the Giants will take away from this game involves missed opportunities, such as a interception deep into the offensive zone, and of course 2 missed field goals.
Yeah, when you look at it, between the 20s, 20 to 20, they were able to move the ball. They were able to throw the ball, be methodical, kind of move the chains and stay ahead of the chains. But when you're talking about going against an offense with a Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, you're going to have to put points on the board. And we talk about not just 3. They weren't able to get 3 at all. They missed some opportunities, left some points up on the board, and when you look at the final score, that, at the end of the day, is the reason why they lost this game.
Cincinnati came into this game averaging about 28 points or so a game, top 5 in the National Football League. They were held to only 17 points, and remember, the touchdown came only in the final couple of minutes. This defense did everything it could. Obviously, the busted play on Burrow's scramble early in the game for a score, but let's not kid ourselves. They did a very good job containing a potent offense till the very end of the game.
Absolutely. You know, the defense is going to kind of I mean, there's no moral victories in the NFL at all, but they're able to look at the tape and break it down and see that they really did some good things, and they were able to limit this high-powered Bengals offense to, like you said, 17 points. They're going to kick themselves in the butt for giving up that touchdown at the end, but in the NFL, Paul, it's hard to hold high-powered offenses to 17 points. At the end of the day, they're going to tell themselves they just need to be better because they're going to have to put it on their backs from time to time.
And I don't care what the numbers will say, Brian Burns had an impact on this game regardless of his stat line.
Yeah, and he continues to do that. You know, he may not be registering the sacks, but he continues to show up in the backfield with pressures. You see him drop a lot today. He was able to be a utility guy for this Giants defense.
All right, and finally, you're talking about, again, a defense that held Burrow and company to 4 of 11 on 3rd down. Don't want to forget that because that's the key down in any football game. All right, offensively, though, big bright spot for the Giants. Tyrone Tracy, 17 carries, 50 yards and a touchdown, 6 catches for 57 yards. I think we're seeing him become more well-rounded and more comfortable every week.
Yeah, we saw it in training camp. Coach Dable using him in different packages to get him on the field. He's continuing to grow. He's continuing to get comfortable. And at the end of the day, he'll continue to make plays for this Giants offense.
His quickness is definitely one thing the Giants will look to use more and more. Let's go back upstairs.
Thanks so much, Paul Dottino and Brandon London on the field. We're going to continue to break this one down. The Giants fall to the Bengals 17-7 on Sunday Night Football. After the break, Carl Banks joining the show along with Shaun O'Hara and myself at Giants Fans. It's Moody's. Decode risk, unlock opportunity. You can learn more at moodys.com. We've got more to come here on Giants Postgame Live. We're going to hear from head coach Brian Dable, his thoughts on the loss here at home. Giants Postgame Live brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. Keep getting better. Plus, limited tickets are available for the remaining home games at MetLife Stadium for the Giants' 100th season. Just scan the QR code on your screen or visit giants.com/tickets to find your game and secure your seat today. Stay with us. We're back with more after this. Tonight's scoring drive of the game is brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Giants. Citizens is made ready for Giants fans. For every scoring drive this season, Citizens will donate $750 to the Giants Foundation to support their work tackling important community issues, improving overall health, and empowering our youth. For the scoring drive of the game, we take you to the 3rd quarter. 4th and 2, Daniel Jones finds the rookie Tyrone Tracy, moves the sticks once again.
Option.
4th down, going for it again. And you know what? If you want a touchdown, you better call Tyrone.
Well
Tyrone Tracy runs it in. The Giants are on the board for 7 after Greg Joseph makes the PAT. A 1-yard rushing touchdown caps the drive that started with the Giants defense recovering a fumble. 16 plays, 79 yards, 6 minutes and 45 seconds off the clock for the scoring drive of the game. As we welcome into the show 2-time Super Bowl champion Carl Banks, joining Super Bowl champion Shaun O'Hara and myself, Madelyn Burke, here on Giants Postgame Live. Carl, we just saw that drive that was heavily influenced by the run game, but when you look at the final stats of this game, the fact that Daniel Jones is the Giants' leading rusher in the loss is a bit surprising.
Well, I don't think they did themselves any favors because they did not play to the ranking of Cincinnati. They're in the 30 percentile, like 32nd or 31st, okay, versus the run and on 3rd downs. And when you start the game passing, you never gave your quarterback a chance to get in rhythm. So they put pressure on him early, and we know he doesn't function well, and he was off kilter. He never got his bearings, and the only drive that they scored on, they were running the football. So I thought they should have been more persistent in doing that.
And it's tough, too, in a game in which the Giants' defense really did a great job. I mean, you look at the fact that the Bengals only scored 17 points in the game, but 7 of those on a 47-yard touchdown run by Joe Burrow on blown coverage, and another 7 on a late-in-the-game run by Chase Brown, a 30-yard touchdown there. So really, the defense was securing things. But, Shaun, when you look at the way there were some missed opportunities still along the way.
Yeah, I mean, look, defensively, you got to get off the field on 3rd and long like that. And if you would have told me coming into this game that a quarterback was going to run for a 40-yard touchdown, I would have said it was Daniel Jones, not Joe Burrow. That's not what he does. And it was just, look, it just happened to be the formation was that way. It was a busted play. Give them credit for that. But I thought the defense played phenomenal. They played lights out.
Yeah, I mean, but, again, there are no moral victories, right?
Yeah.
Well, on the Joe Burrow touchdown, He just watched what Geno Smith did. He got him, caught him in man. The rush was unbalanced. They had 3 to one side and run to the other. So the attention to detail stuff. You know, I've said this, it's kind of a theme for this team. Your best players have to be your best players. Your role players have to be attention to detail. And your best players were your best players at times, most of the time. But your role players, right? 3rd and long, he throws a Hail Mary to Jamar Chase. Drew Phillips was supposed to be doubling. He left the double to become a spectator when the quarterback's scrambling around. If he stays with Chase, because Flott was had him pretty covered, but he couldn't see the football. The other guy, his role, see the football. He gets an interception there, but instead, you know, the plays that only Jamar Chase can make, he made it.
Right.
And then, you know, so it's those types of plays where if you're a defender, yeah, you did enough to win the game, kind of, sort of, but you didn't do enough to win the game because you had some opportunities. But, I mean, they set the tone. Again, no moral victories. There's enough to go around. The kicking woes continue as well. So
the kicking woes continue. Greg Joseph with 2 missed field goals, but Graham Gano is set or eligible to come off IR, I believe, next week. So we'll see how the Giants navigate that scenario, that situation moving forward. You mentioned role players, though. Kayvon Thibodeau recently placed on IR after having a wrist surgery last week. Azeez Ojulari really stepped up in his absence as well, and they got pressure on the quarterback. Ojulari getting to Burrow a couple of times. The Giants putting together, you know, a 4-sack performance, and this Giants team leading the league in sacks.
Yeah, they're living to their profile. There are certain things that they're doing really well that you can normally hang your hat on. But again, the attention to details is the difference between a tough loss or a hard-fought victory. And this is where they are now. I mean, this is their crossroads. They know they're good enough. They're a persistent team. But, you know, Azeez Ojulari stepped in and did his job. He forced the 1 fumble. He had 2 sacks. And, I mean, he was disruptive. Brian Burns, your best player, right? Disruptive. He made a lot of tackles for loss. He had a big sack. So, listen, you know, it's just hard to really feel like, okay, they didn't do enough to win, but they didn't do enough to win.
Yeah,
you know?
I think what's got to be hard is defensively right now, and you're in the locker room, and you're like, what more could we have done? Like, what do we have to do? Do we have to score too?
Yeah.
Like, do we have to actually take the ball and put it in the end zone because you can't do it? Defensively, they did everything. They got after the quarterback. They almost knocked Joe Burrow out of the game.
They almost
was all over.
They almost had a second scoop recovery.
He should have had a
Shaun,
3rd sack. He stopped. He thought the ball was out, and he had him wrapped up. It looked like the Matthias Kiwanuka play from back in the day against Vince Young.
Yeah.
And defensively, yet it's like we punched the ball out. We can't recover. The ball rolls out of the end zone.
But here's the thing.
It's frustrating.
As a defender, I mean, coming from an offensive guy, you can say that, right? As a defender, you don't ask. You say, we got to go get and got to score. If they can't score, we have to figure out how to score.
You know, when I had somebody ask me what I thought was going to happen today in this game earlier this morning, and I said this game's got to be bloody. Like for the Giants, the Giants cannot win in a shootout against the Cincinnati Bengals that they had against Baltimore previous week. Like, we can't score 30 points. If it's bloody and we hold them under 20 points, we can win the game. They did just that. They should have won the game. This loss is on the offense. It's on the offense, and the field goals are part of it too. But if the offense starts playing better, if they start playing like they can and like they should, then this is not a loss. This would have been a W.
Absolutely. And we're going to hear after the break what the head coach had to say about this as well. But first, I want to remind you guys, Giants fans, the official 100th season book titled New York Football Giants, The People, The Moments, The Traditions, is now available exclusively at the Giants online shop. This book explores the top 100 players of all time, 2 of which on the set with me tonight. Unforgettable games and stories that have defined the franchise for the last century. Visit the Giants online shop to get yours today. After the break, we're going to hear from head coach Brian Daboll. That and more on Giants Postgame Live, presented by Hackensack Meridian Health. We'll be back after this. Fans, join the Giants Text Alert community for breaking news, sweepstakes, ticket offers, and important game day information. Just scan the QR code on your screen or text Giants to 201-636-1569 to get started. The Giants, of course, celebrating their 100th season today on Sunday Night Football, but Lots of history in the building. Some legendary players, members of 2 of the Super Bowl teams, 07 and 11, in attendance, getting some love from the fans. With the 2 Lombardis out there, too. Look at David Tyree. That's where that ball was caught right there, right on the dome, right?
Yeah, just like he drew it up. Right, I'm going to pin this ball against my helmet. Eli's going to break a tackle, which he had never done in his career. Special night yet again. Obviously, it's a special season. Giants celebrating 100 seasons. And it was really cool to be down on the field with the Super Bowl 42 and 46 guys. Tommy 2 times, I'd like to call him. Coach Tom Coughlin down there with the 2 Lombardis. It's always kind of nice to see that and kind of get the guys back together.
And the nostalgia of having everyone kind of in the same building,
you know
right?
what? It's kind of like the aura didn't rub off, and that's kind of our fault. You know, we should be able to sprinkle a little of that championship aura.
You would hope that we could
every
every
time that there's celebration or honoring of the teams, it's a loss.
Yeah, it's like the kiss of death.
Yeah, we have to either stop honoring or.
There's only so much Riz to
Let's
go
not stop
around the
honoring.
building.
Let's just play better.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
We'll just play better. But hey, listen, the Giants fall to the Bengals 17-7 is the final score. Head coach Brian Dable is stepping to the podium. Let's have a listen to what he had to say.
All right, tough loss. Thought our defense played very good football. Missed a quarterback run early on a rush lane, but they played winning football. To hold those receivers to what we held them to, the pass game. I think Burrow had about 50 yards rushing, but hats off to the way the defense played. Missed 2 opportunities in the kicking game, and then didn't score enough points offensively. And that starts with me. And it's hard to win games when you score 7 points, and that's the reality of it.
Why do you think the offense struggled so much tonight?
That's probably a number of things, Dan. I'll go back and watch the tape. I thought we had some opportunities, throughout the game. Whether it be run, whether it be pass. We turned the ball over down there, on that drive, which was a good drive, and to come away with no points. And then I think 5 of 15, somewhere around there. Now, we were aggressive on 4th down, as I thought we needed to be against this offense, but just couldn't generate any explosive plays. We had the penalty. And then other than that, we didn't hit many explosive plays. So that's okay. That's in a nutshell before watching it.
On that first series of the second half there, we did go for it on 4th on the 38, didn't make it, and then come back. Is that just a matter of if you just try to jumpstart your offense?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have any points. It felt good about stuff that we had. We were going a little bit up tempo, and our defense did a great job after that, of holding them, getting the ball back, and then going down and scoring. But, it's hard to win football games when you score 7 points. That's the reality of it.
Can you explain what happened on that interception, Brian?
Yeah, Daniel was getting pressure, and he tried to throw it, out of the back of the end zone, and not what we want to do. So, that was a tough one. I'm sure he'd like to have that back. And I'd like to have, certainly the play call back when you get a result like that.
Was you trying to hit Theo on the backside there, or do you want him to take Tracy in the flat there? And that's
yeah, I mean, with the pressure, they looped around Jermaine. We had a chance at, Tracy, or throw it at his feet if we don't have him. It was a shot type of play to Theo. Again, if we got sacked, we got sacked. Obviously, we don't want to turn the ball over in that situation, and you can put that on me.
It seemed like a similar decision to the one against Cleveland where Malik batted it away. Is there anything that you can, where again, he's kind of just tossing it up there, kind of multiple guys have a chance to bring it down?
Yeah, I don't think he was trying to throw it to complete it, but certainly a decision that I know that we'd like to have back, but you can put that on me.
Rich, what about on Andrew's penalty there on the long play to Slayton?
Yeah, it was downfield.
What's that a product of?
Yeah, it was an RPO. So run pass option, read the defense, usually get out of your hands quick. I thought he did. Andrew's blocking the run, and looked to me like it was the right call. So that was 2 penalties for 9 yards, but that was a 60-yard gain that totally changed field position.
You mentioned the 3rd down struggles. Did they do anything differently that you had to adjust to?
No.
Is there what can you put your finger on? Like, offensively, you have 1 touchdown in 3 games at home, but you have had a lot more success away.
Yeah, I mean, it starts with execution. So, 7 points won't get it done.
What led to it being such a polar opposite from a week ago, Brian, where the offense really seemed to be working against Seattle to now?
I mean, every week, Connor, I tell you this, it's a week-to-week league. Every week's different. So we didn't execute as well as we executed last week. Overall, I'm not just saying, I'm saying everybody, and that starts with me.
Brian, was there anything on offense you felt you could lean on? I mean, obviously in the first half you couldn't run it. Second half you could run it a little better. Was there anything that you felt, okay, at least I can lean on this?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's some good things that we did, and obviously not a good enough. But we'll go back, we'll look at it. But again, the ultimate deal is scoring points, whether it's run, pass, whatever it may be. So when you're inconsistent with the things that we're inconsistent with right now, the result is 7 points, and that all starts with me.
We talked a lot a couple weeks ago about the deep balls not connecting. We had a couple last week, and it felt like it was kind of back to not being able to connect tonight. What do you think was the problem tonight? Yeah, we'll take a look at it then. Every week's different. So we hit them last week. We didn't this week. I mean, that's a simple answer. Holding you back, not being able to hit those with any level of consistency. Yeah, I mean, look, you're not going to be, an 80%, completion rate when you throw deep balls. You're going to hit some. You're going to miss some. Obviously they help. They help a great deal in terms of, ending drives and points when you hit them. Whether that's catch and run, like it was on the one we got called back, or, a downfield shot, to Wandell on a crosser or whatever it may be. So keep working at it.
Did you consider a 54-yard field goal out of Greg's range, or were you just reacting to the miss prior to that?
Yeah, I thought it was right on the cusp. We felt like that was the best thing to do, is to go for it on that fourth down there. The one to Slayton. Yes. Yeah, felt good about the call. Still feel good about the call, and made a good play.
Why you kicked a field goal on second down rather than taking 2 shots at the end zone and then kicking it?
We're in we have a situation there that we've practiced. Go ahead and kick that field goal, get it back with a little bit more time to go ahead and, we need 2 scores. So field goal, touchdown, you don't want to waste any more time. We felt we were in, go ahead and kick the field goal right there, and unfortunately didn't make it.
Right, when you say you still feel good about that call, the incompletion to Slayton, what makes you say that after?
No, the decision to go for it. Yeah, I would do it again.
Do you think any of the issues with the 2 missed field goals tonight, could they have been contributed just to a new holder?
No, I mean, look, he's held for a long time. We felt comfortable with him out there. We're not going to make an excuse for that.
You had to use a timeout on one of those 4th downs. Did you have a headset issue, or what? Or was that just personnel? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get fixed after just that? Was it one play?
Yeah, it was after that one, and then they grabbed it and switched it out.
Any significant issue with Andrew ankle?
Don't have anything for you.
Anything else? What's your optimism level on Malik returning this week?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll ask the doctors here where he's at. So, day to day.
Okay. All right. Locker room's open.
That sound from head coach Brian Daboll is brought to you by your local Ford stores. Ford is proud to be the official truck of the New York Giants. Of course, Daboll ending that media availability, saying that Malik Neighbors is still day-to-day, missing his 2nd game tonight with the concussion protocol, But, a lot of things that Daboll talked about in his media availability, one of them was 4th downs. Hindsight is 20/20, and when you look at the way that Daboll was trying to ignite a spark at times, and the Giants were effective in converting some 4th downs. But then there's some that you'd probably want back, Shaun.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And he mentioned he liked the play call. Look, the kicker is struggling. He missed 2 kicks. So you can't blame him for going for a 4th down when you can't trust your kicker. And it's your backup kicker at that. So you don't fault him for that. There was one play in particular, the 4th down play to Slayton, where it was incomplete. He actually had Wandell Robinson. It was a layered concept. And Slayton is a crossing route, the shallow. Wandell was the medium guy. He was actually wide open. So even when you call the right play, if it's not the right decision and it doesn't convert, then everybody's going to dissect it. And that's basically what it comes down to. He also talked about the interception that Daniel Jones threw and how he wishes he called a different play. I didn't love that play call in that situation. You don't expect your quarterback to turn the ball over. Like, you want him to take care of the ball. We're on the 14-yard line. Like, you can't turn the ball over. That's points that you're giving up.
Yeah, situational awareness is important. You either eat the football you definitely don't throw it in the middle of the field
never.
thinking you can sail it out of the back of the end zone. There are sidelines for that, or intentional grounding. So that's a decision, bad decision by the quarterback. Even though he got his arm hit, where he was trying to throw the ball out, was the furthest distance anyway. It's like throw it to a sideline or eat the football, and you live to try a field goal.
Yeah.
Right, live to see another down, but of course, hindsight is 20/20. Had that play worked out, we'd all, be looking at it in a very different lens. Carl Banks, thanks so much for popping by our show today.
Good to see you, CB.
We'll see you next week. Great to see you. And guests of our post-game show received a gift certificate to Ben & Jack's, located on 44th Street in Manhattan. From the celebrated porterhouse to finer seafood, Ben & Jack's will surpass your expectations of what a steakhouse should be. Carl Banks is heading off to get his other stuff done, but Shaun and I will be back with more Giants Post-Game Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health.
Yeah, he's an elite quarterback, man. He's going to find a way. So we have to stay on top of it for 60 minutes. Those two little plays, can be a difference in the game, and you saw that tonight. So against elite quarterbacks, you got to be on it.
You led the team in tackles again tonight. I mean, your productivity during the early part of your rookie season has been pretty incredible. What have you learned about yourself, especially when you go up against an elite guy like Burrow?
I learned that I still got a lot to work on still. I'm still learning. I'm still, getting in the mix, learning, making mistakes. But, I feel like I can still do a lot more. I'm just trying to go out there and do my job every day. And, I got great teammates, great coaches that trust in me, that I lean on, that, trust me to go out there and make plays, that help me make plays. So just going to continue to do that.
We know that Burrow can be...
That's our Paul Dottino in the locker room with Giants rookie safety Tyler Nubin, who not only on the season, but once again tonight leading the Giants in tackles, 9 total tackles tonight for the rookie safety. And Shaun, when you take a look at not only the productivity off of this rookie class, but Nubin in particular, what has impressed you about the young safety's play?
Well, Nubin, we knew right out of training camp, this dude's physical. Like, he loves to thump people. He's not backing down from anybody. And you saw that again tonight, for him to have 9 tackles. It's good and it's bad. Like, I never wanted my safety to lead our defense in tacklings, because maybe there's too many open field and down the field tackles that he's making. But he likes to be down in the action. He likes to get in the mix, be down in the box. I think he's done a great job, and this is a young secondary, and this is a new defense. I don't know how many more weeks we can keep calling it new, but the defense played their butts off. Like, this was an unbelievable game. When you think about what they were going up against with Joe Burrow, with Jamar Chase, with T. Higgins, Boyd, like, this was a legitimate offense that just they've scored 30 points in the last 3 games, 33 points or more. So this was a tough task, and they were up to it. Like, they stoned them. If it wasn't for that blip of a play against Joe Burrow where he scrambles for the 47-yard touchdown, like, they did everything right. They got after the quarterback. Ojulari stepped up. The NFL is all about opportunities, right? Somebody's going to step up and make an opportunity as soon as they get that chance. Ojulari did that. I thought this defense played lights out. I thought they were all over the field. Micah McFadden with another monster game.
Right.
Okereke again with that little punching the ball out. They played well enough to win, and they just didn't deliver. And it's not their fault. I'm sure they're all going to say, hey, look, there's a couple more plays we could have made here and there, but I thought they played lights out against a really good offense.
A really good offense, and as Nubin said, a really good quarterback. This is another elite-level quarterback. They've played, like we talked about during the break, the last 3 weeks, it's been quarterbacks that are leading the league in something. Joe Burrow is an incredibly talented quarterback as well, and their record does not reflect the talent that they have offensively.
He was leading the league in touchdown passes. He had 12 coming into this game, and they put the clamps on him. I mean, he was uncomfortable in the pocket. He almost knocked him out of the game. Like, there was a big hit in there. His head kind of hit the ground. I thought Burns did a good job pressuring him. They did their part.
Absolutely. And speaking of the defense doing their part, let's hear from some more members of the Giants defense. Azeez Ojulari and Bobby Okereke speaking in the locker room.
I feel like we executed the plan. We fell short. We left a lot of plays out there for sure. When we go back and watch tomorrow and tonight, and we'll see what we can fix and try to work on that for sure.
Azeez, now that you're on the field against Burrow, what's the most difficult thing about trying to deal with him?
Man, Burrow, he's so elusive. Like, he's fast, and as you've seen today, when you get there, you gotta get him down all the way for sure, because he's elusive and he's a great player.
It's a high-scoring offense. You held them to 17 points. You have to feel like defensively you did everything you could to win this game.
Man, I know it's tough. We definitely left some plays out there, and we want back for sure. We got to shake it off and move on to the next week now.
To get such good pressure on Joe Burrow. He lived in the backfield a little bit.
Hats off to the coaches and the staff, everyone working every week at practice, trying to just combative rush as a unit, and just keep rushing every day.
Yeah, I mean, it is tough. We know we got to play better in that 4-minute. Have a better rush plan for the quarterback scramble earlier on in the game. Just self-inflicted wounds. I feel like we could have played that offense a little bit better.
What happened? It was one of the stranger plays, Bobby, that I've seen, that the 48-yard touchdown run. Why did nobody end up on that side of the field?
I mean, I think their formation was a 4-by-1. And then the running back was backside. I was covering him, so he ran across the field, had all the receivers over there. Safeties went that way, and then he found a rush lane, escaped through the A or B gap, and was just free.
What did you see from Aziz tonight?
I thought Aziz was electric. He showed up. We all have a lot of faith in Aziz, and his pass rush ability is very strong.
How comforting, but when he comes into play like that, when you're down Kayvon?
Yeah, it's amazing. We have a next man up mentality at every position, really. So, Aziz just fulfilled that.
Bobby, I think it's fair to say the defense did everything it could to keep this game in the game as long as you could, and even being short without Thibodeau, that's got to be something you can hold your head high up.
I mean, like I said earlier, we got to execute better in critical situations, have a better rush plan with that quarterback scramble, and then that 4-minute, we got to get the ball back to our offense there.
That was Bobby Okereke talking after the Giants lost to the Bengals. 17-7 was the final score. Take a look at Bobby's numbers on the evening. 1 forced fumble, a pass defense, 5 combined tackles. Shaun, we heard him talking, earlier in the show. We heard from head coach Brian Dable saying the defense played winning football. We heard Bobby Okereke talking about, next man up mentality with Kayvon Thibodeau, recently placed on injured reserve, but they were still able to get pressure on the quarterback. Aziz Ojulari played well. When you look at the way the defense played tonight and for the next several weeks with Kayvon on IR, what does that say about this defense moving forward?
Well, I tell you what, they're getting after the quarterback. They came into this game leading the NFL in sacks, and they just added more to it. 4 sacks tonight. Again, Burns got in on it. Ojulari had 2. He should have had 3. He kind of gave up on the play, thinking the ball was on the ground. And Dexter Lawrence added another sack. So he leads all D tackles in the NFL right now with sacks. And he's got one of the best chunky soup commercials I've ever seen. Hunks of meat. I love it.
And one of the best sack celebrations, too.
Look,
I won't do it because I'll hear about it if I do it.
we love it when you do it. We love when you do that dance. But when you, as an offensive lineman, Dexter Lawrence is a man-child. He's impossible to block one-on-one. And I think when you look at this defense, teams don't want to play the Giants right now defensively because of how well they're getting after the quarterback, the amount of pressure they're getting home. It's affecting offenses. Look at what just happened to the Bengals offense. They did not look like the same offense that you've seen against the Chiefs and against the Baltimore Ravens. So kudos to the defense, but you're not going to win a lot of games when you only score 7.
Absolutely. The offense got to get some points on the board. Defense did enough to get this done, but not the case tonight. Sunday Night Football is a loss, 17-7. The Giants fall to the Bengals. After the break, we're going to hear from quarterback Daniel Jones, what he has to say on Giants Postgame Live. Stay with us. Player of the Game is presented by HCL Tech, supercharging progress, the official digital transformation partner of the New York Giants. Player of the Game, Brian Burns, 1 sack, 8 tackles, 2 quarterback hits, 2 tackles for loss in the Sunday Night Football game. As we take a look at some highlights, Brian Burns applying pressure. Quarterback Joe Burrow bringing him down with a celebration, and once again, getting in there.
Yeah, tough to block him with a tight end like that. And Burns, he was disruptive, the passing game and the run game.
This play right here came in like a torpedo.
Yeah, a little twist. Nice job right here of him not driving the quarterback to the ground and getting a penalty. He kind of let him go. Smart.
Absolutely. Brian Burns, your player of the game on Sunday Night Football as the Giants fall to the Bengals. 17-7 is the final score. Let's send it down to the podium where quarterback Daniel Jones is addressing the media.
Yeah, it's very disappointing. Couldn't sustain drives, execute. get into a rhythm, and frustrating. I feel like we've, taken steps and progressed as an offense. Obviously, we didn't do that today, so we've got to look at what we need to do better and clean it up.
Daniel, what happened with the interceptions? Was that a play you'd like to have back?
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to get the ball at the back of the end zone. Got hit, got to throw it earlier, or get the ball down.
It looked like you took a lot of hits tonight. Many of them you initiated yourself. Do you make out of this okay physically? And you concerned about that long term?
No, I'm not. I feel good.
Is there any added frustration? It was, the Cowboys and Washington lost today, and Philly didn't look that great. This could have put you right back in the race.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to win every game, every time we play. So regardless of what's going on across the league or in our division, we're always trying to win the game we're playing. So it's frustrating for that reason.
Did you guys make a decision at halftime to be more aggressive with going for the fourth downs offensively?
I think that was something we had talked about throughout the week is being aggressive in those situations. Some came up there in the second half, and some we executed well, and then some we didn't. So we've got to look at where we can clean those up.
How frustrating is it on a day that the defense plays like it did not to be able to score more than 7 points?
Yeah, it's very frustrating to not score more than 7 points.
Daniel, you mentioned you've made progress like in the game in Seattle offensively. You said it's kind of frustrating not to keep that rhythm. How do you avoid not kind of riding the wave of this and keeping it going in the right direction there?
I think we just gotta execute. Gotta execute throughout the game. Take advantage of the opportunities we have and convert them. It starts in the beginning of the game, help you get into a rhythm, and then sustain it throughout. So, like I said, we'll look at the film and see where we could have improved that.
That's Giants quarterback Daniel Jones as we take a look at the quarterback comparison for Sunday Night Football. Giants falling to the Bengals 17-7, but Daniel Jones' numbers threw for 205 yards, 1 interception, no touchdowns, a 57.5 QBR. He added 56 yards rushing, leading the Giants in rushing yards on the evening, but the Giants fall to the Bengals 17-7 on Sunday Night Football. And hey, Giants fans, want to remind you to check out the Eli Manning Show presented by Panini Prism Trading Cards. All you have to do is subscribe to the Giants YouTube channel to catch all of the new shows. It's the Eli Manning Show. Subscribe today. We're back with more on Giants Postgame Live after this quick break. Stay with us. Well, as the Giants continue to celebrate their 100th season, Sunday Night Football Week 6 honoring the 2007 and 11 Super Bowl teams. Look at this offensive line crew right here.
Yeah, look at those studs. Boothie on the left, Snee, McKenzie, Soyber, O'Hara, and that was Kiwi.
Those trophies
Zach
quite shiny.
Coach Coughlin. Special times down there. It's always great to get the band back together.
Always great to get the band back together. I'm sure that offensive line would have loved blocking for a running back like Tyrone Tracy.
We could have got you 100 yards and 2 touchdowns today.
Let's see. Well, Tyrone Tracy is down at his locker speaking to the media. Let's take a listen.
You always want to come out with a win. It sucks. I mean, I can have the game of my life, but if you don't come out with a win, it really don't matter.
Tyrone, it's often said you can learn more from a loss than you can a win. This was a much more difficult game than last week. What do you think you can take out of this one?
I mean, just being detailed, we had a lot of penalties. We had a lot of just mishaps, on the offensive side. Defense played amazing. They gave us the ball. We have to take advantage of our opportunities, when we get a short field or when defense do a 3 and out or whatever it is. We got to play complementary football. And today we just we didn't do that in the first half. Second half we came out, we switched it up a little bit. But at the end of the day, we got to take care of the little details and just fall back on our fundamentals.
I think it was your touchdown that capped off like a 16-play drive where you guys went all the way down the field. What went right on that drive that was going so well that couldn't manifest itself necessarily the rest of the night?
Yeah, I think that we kind of just found our niche, doing, fast tempo. changing the tempo on them. You know, we're conditioned. You know, I feel like they was getting tired, and we were just kind of, you know, laying on them in the run game. You know, then switching up, throwing passes down the field. So yeah, I think that we just kind of switched up the tempo and found our niche.
As Giants rookie running back Tyrone Tracy, who had his first career touchdown Sunday Night Football in the 17-7 loss to the Bengals. So we take a look at a running back comparison. Tyrone Tracy, Chase Brown. Tracy 50 yards, averaging 2.9 a carry. But again, adding a touchdown to his stat line on the evening.
I feel like he played bigger than his stats show right there. Like, he was good. They need to give him 25 carries.
Absolutely. The sky is the limit for the rookie running back. We've got much more to come as we continue to break it down. Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. Keep getting better. Continues after this. Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live. As we turn the page to Week 7, the Giants are back at MetLife Stadium for a 1 o'clock game against division rival Philadelphia Eagles. It'll be the return of Saquon Barkley, his first game as a visiting player, as a member of the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, Saquon signed with the Eagles in the offseason. But Shaun, the Eagles are the only team in the division that got a win in Week 6.
Yeah, they beat up on the Cleveland Browns. Saquon Barkley had a pretty quiet day, but A.J. Brown came back with a thunder, 2 touchdowns, and I think 116 yards receiving. So I thought the Eagles defense woke up too. They sacked Deshaun Watson 5 times, so that's going to be something to handle. But no doubt, all eyes will be on Saquon. 2-6 coming back in this building. Look, it's not just the emotional return for him and for the fans. I'm sure they're going to be, you know, there's going to be a little bit of perplexion there for them. Like, what do we do? You better boo his butt. All right, but we better tackle him. Like, that's the one thing about Saquon is, like, he's a tough guy to bring down. So defensively, you got to rally to the ball. You got to find a way to tackle him on first contact. Don't let him break any big plays. But this is always a big-time matchup.
Yeah,
the Giants got to score some points.
And for the Giants, too, the possibility of getting Malik Neighbors back from concussion protocol, which, again, we will continue to monitor leading up to that, would be helpful in getting the Giants help scoring some points.
Yeah, no doubt. That would be huge. Obviously, hopefully you get Devin Singletary back, too. But that's always been a big issue. And really, the last couple times we played the Eagles, we've not protected well. Hopefully, Andrew Thomas is okay. I know they're checking out his foot. That would be a big part of this game if they want to get a win at home. But we need it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We need some points. Let's go. We got to beat the Birds.
Andrew Thomas told the media after the game that he will be getting some imaging done on Monday, so we'll be monitoring that as well leading into Week 7.
He could just take the ice that's on Tyrone Tracy's neck and just put that around his foot.
Icy,
Ice up, son.
right? Ice up, son. All right, well, that's a wrap for our show today. For Shaun O'Hara, I'm Madelyn Burke. Thanks for hanging with us on Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. We'll see you next week.